Hey everyone, welcome back to Fly with Shubham, and today we'll be discussing the viewer approach plate for Udaipur. We already discussed the details of the ILS approach plate of Udaipur as an example, and this is the second video that we are going to do again for practice on the viewer of Udaipur. Okay, so how do we read the approach plates? Again, from the right hand side. This is the approach plate for Udaipur VOR Runway 26, applicable for category A, B, C aircraft, issued by Jeppesen on 18th Feb 2022, effective 24th Feb. This is for the primary airport of Udaipur. Third is the instrument. So basically, this is the index number again. The first is the primary airport. 3 is for VOR, and the -1 is for the approach plate number. Okay. The ICAO code Victor Alpha Uniform Delta, IATA code Uniform Delta Romeo for Maharana Pratap Airport. Okay, we have a D8 is frequency 128.850, Udaipur Tower 118.65. Now the star depicts that it's not active 24 hours. Okay, VOR Udaipur frequency Uniform Delta identifier 115.9er, fine approach course 257. For minimas, we'll refer to the other chart. Minimas again refer to the other chart. Airport elevation, runway elevation, and this is the MSA from Uniform Delta VOR. Again in 3 different sectors as given. Okay. Altitude set in hectopascals, runway elevation 59 hectopascal, transition level by all ATC and transition altitude 6000 feet. DME is required for this kind of an approach. Okay. So again, the same thing, you have many different initial approach fixes as given on the plan view. This top view is known as the plan view. The top portion here, this entire thing is known as the briefing strip. This is the MSA. So in the plan view, you can see Udaipur 115.9er, D depicts DME is required, uniform delta with the Morse code below it. This arrow depicts the highest elevation point in this area. These small dots are all elevated points in the region, and this with the arrow is the highest elevation point. Okay, the fine approach course you can see here 257. We don't have any more details. This is a fine approach fix at 7 miles, and this is our airport. This is the runway. Okay, and we have a 13 DME arc maintaining 4000 feet to finals. If we are joining from an initial approach fix at 15 miles, we'll turn left and then join the arc maintaining a 13 DME arc. And we have some examples of radials crossing, which are initial approach fixes references for the radials. Okay, and once we reach these late radials 068 or 086, we are going to turn inbound for the final course 257, descend to 3700 during this turn. Okay, till here we are 4000 feet, and then we descend to 3700 when we are turning for finals after the lead radials. Okay, for the next portion of this chart, we'll go to the final approach chart, which is the next page. As you can see, we are on VOR runway 26131 alpha chart, which was said in the previous one. So here we have the final approach details. Again, the most of the portion remains the same. Only the additional portion we're going to read: missed approach, climb straight ahead to 3000 feet, then climbing, turn left to VOR, join holding at 4700 or as directed. Okay. Final approach course 257. We are coming in the final approach course. Final approach fix 7 miles, and after 7 miles, we are gonna descend. Now, in the VOR approach, it's a non-precision approach. We don't have the glide slope. We're not doing a instrument approach. We're not doing an ILS approach. So what we are gonna do here is we're gonna refer to this descent profile. Okay, so it has a DME distance and an altitude. So this is the plan view. This is the profile view. So the profile view depicts via overhead, but we are not going to discuss that right now. We're going to discuss it after this descent profile. So the first thing, if you're coming in via the arc, you join via the arc and then you turn for the final course 257, descending 3700. After that, 7 miles, you should be 3700 at final approach fix. 6 miles, 3380, which will be continuously going as per profile. So when you're flying this approach, you'll be following this descent profile as per whatever is given here according to the distance. So 6 miles 3380, 5 miles 3070, 4 miles 2750, 3 miles 2430 feet. That will become your descent profile for your finals for VOR. Okay. Now the next thing is via overhead. So if you're coming via overhead, if you're joining, if you are not joining the arc and you're coming directly via overhead, what you're going to do is come 4700 overhead, go outbound on a radial of 056 if you're Cat C aircraft. If your Cat A and B, will go 067, as you can see here, 067 for Cat A and B, 056 for Cat C. Why? Because Cat C aircrafts are faster in approach than Cat A and B aircraft, which obviously causes them to have a larger turning radius. So that is why a bigger turn is given here. So we'll take an example of a normal approach of a Cat A aircraft, which would be probably a Piper Archer or a Cessna 172 for training purposes. We're going to go out on 067 and cat A and B category. Okay, so over here we'll keep going. We'll also refer the plan view with the profile view, because sometimes on as we saw in the ILS approach, you could see that halfway through the outbound leg you will have intercept localizer, which would obviously mean intercept the back course of the localizer. So what we're going to do here is we'll go till 9 miles, and then 9 miles we should be 3,700. So during this entire outbound leg we're descending 1,000 feet, 4,700 to 3,700. Now at the 3,700, once we reach 3,700 at 9 miles, we are gonna do a level base turn here towards the right hand side, as you can see, for our final course 257. Okay, so we do a level base turn here 257, maintaining 3,700, 7 miles. Again, continue the approach as per this profile. Now once you come for the approach, you have your minimas here 2220. Okay, MDA, which is your minimum decision altitude or minimum descent altitude. Okay, so decision altitude, as we discussed before, is used for a precision approach, whereas when it becomes MDA, that's a non-precision approach, so it becomes a minimum descent altitude. Okay, and height obviously for from the ground level, altitude from the mean sea level. So minimum descent altitude 2220 feet. We're gonna add a little bit of buffer in that, which is called DDA. Okay, so we are going to make it the DDA, not the MDA, for a height loss adjustment, as it says on the bottom again, like we discussed in the ILS. So we have DA in lieu of MDA requires height loss adjustment. Okay, so when we are following this profile, we are going to add 35 feet to 50 feet to our MDA, so that we don't burst the MDA when we're initiating a missed approach or a go around. Okay, come for the approach, continuous descent, 3-degree glide slope 257, and once you reach your DDA, you initiate a missed approach if you are unstable on approach or if you can't see the runway. Otherwise, you continue for approach and go for a landing. Again, ground speed, descent angle, 3-degree standard. According to your ground speed, they have given you a rate of descent. High intensity approach lighting system, PAPI on the left. Missed approach procedure, 3,000 feet, climb straight ahead. Okay, straight landing, continuous descent and fan approach. These are the minimas, 2,220. This is without the buffer of height loss adjustment, so we're going to add the buffer to this. Okay, now cat A and B have a RVR requirement 1,500 meters, cat C has 1,800 meters, and with the approach lighting system out 2,400 meters, and cat D is not applicable. Okay, so yeah, that is our VOR approach plate for runway 26 for Udaipur. If you guys have any other doubts, then you can post it in the comments below, and let me know if you want to discuss something else. If I have missed out something in this, then you can let me know that as well. One small thing that I'd like to add here is you can see this dotted line. This dotted line is the missed approach. So climb straight at 3,010, turn left climbing. Okay, climbing left turn to join VOR holding. So this hold is towards the right hand side is a standard hold, and you can see 4,700 over here. So 3,000 feet straight, and then climbing left turn to climb to 4,700 to overhead VOR holding, or maybe direct out as applicable in the procedure or as per ATC clearance. Okay, and yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any other doubts, please put it in the comments below. If there's any specific topic that you want me to talk about or discuss, then you can again post it in the comments and I'll make a video on that as well. Thank you so much for watching.